Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 196 of Little Movie Talk. I 100% forgot, and I had to remember what you said last week.
I told Alex 10 seconds before we
I
started
forgot.
the
I was in
episode.
Alex land doing Alex things, living Alex's best life. What's going on, everyone? Here I have with me, I have my peoples,
My peeps.
my peeps. You see them every week, unless you don't. Here they are. We got Michael.
Hello.
We got Brayden.
Hello.
And we got Chris.
Hello.
There we go.
There he is.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. And we're all
I
here.
tried to preempt that as well, and it's still
Yeah.
bad.
No, it's we're dealing with some rough Australian internet here.
We're dealing with a
so-
laggy Chris, and we're trying our best to combat that.
So hey, if there's a gap and you're like, hey, Chris is about to start talking, or Chris has just finished saying something and we're about to start talking, if there's a gap, just fill it with your own personal opinion on whatever we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no racial slurs. We don't like them.
No, none
Yep.
of that here, thank you.
Yes. Alrighty. Well, what's happening, my peeps?
Now, there's a decent amount of stuff that I want to talk about this week. So I figure
Oh, God.
we get right into the footy talk.
Footy. What?
Footy.
Sorry, I
Footy?
didn't turn into Chris. I
Football.
was confused.
Football.
What are we talking about with football?
Why are we talking about footy?
Why are we talking
you
about
guys,
football?
you guys watching
Football started.
football started?
Yeah, but
It did.
I don't think we've ever spoken about football outside of me going "Go Crows" any random time.
Okay, so parting the kimono for a second, I didn't realize that footy had also started this week. I was trying to set up for Ted Lasso. I didn't realize that footy had actually started this week as well.
Footy started this week.
Guys,
It did.
I'm not
That's why I was quite confused.
No.
That's
No,
why
I'm not a sportsman.
because like we're just like it did, but why are we talking about
Why
that?
are we mentioning it?
So
No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant
Episode
Ted
1
Lasso.
of Ted Lasso, season 3.
oh, here we go, Michael taking it by the reins.
That's about it. That's all I had.
Oh, that's it. I thought
That's what
are
you
we
were meant
all
to jump
delayed?
in.
What's going on?
Yeah, is everyone's internet absolutely fucked up, or are we all good?
No. We're all good. We're all good. I hope.
My favorite thing here is that this this is only going to be connection jokes for the YouTube listeners. Brayden, the audio you sync it perfectly, so it's gonna probably be normal.
True, yeah. Well, maybe we'll see how it turns out. I might be able to play with it a little bit to get
To make it
to
worse.
get
Plus
everything.
the lags up and down. That'll be awful to line
so
up.
that it's a little bit nicer.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, we'll talk about some Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso started again this week. Season 3 began, and it was a bit of a what's everyone been up to in the meantime episode. Setting some things up that we're going to be facing this season. I'm not sure if the people here, namely Chris, has watched it, so I don't want to get too much into spoily stuff. But yeah.
Oh, the 20-year time jump was a bit much.
That was a joke? Okay.
Yes.
Good. No, I'm
God.
kidding. That was good. Chris,
Yeah.
God.
Have you watched it, Chris?
I have not.
Okay.
This is a good time to. If anyone has an Apple TV, they want to chuck my way. Audience or other hosts. There's
you
that.
have my Prime. You have my Disney. What do you want? What
I
else?
have a lot to offer right now. I'm pretty sure I've got my own Disney right now and my own binge.
You have your own
Oh.
Disney.
So anyone need a binge?
Anyone need a
Man
train?
about town.
Sadly, I wish you told me that about 9 weeks ago, and I would have hit you up on it. But
I'll barter for an Apple TV.
See, I have to have my binge because WWE is exclusive to binge. So I can't have anyone just being like, "Oh, I cancelled binge 2 weeks ago." I'd be like, "Okay,
Yeah, that's fair.
I need to see what's going on."
I also just, after going on it today to watch a certain episode or something that I need to catch up on,
There's a lot on binge.
that's what I was gonna say. There is a lot on binge, so I'm like, I was like planning on like literally watching the episode and canceling my subscription, but I'm like, I might keep it around for a while now.
I might keep this
Maybe watch
thing
some
on.
Was it
wrestling
The
in the
Last of
meantime
Us?
too. I did watch The Last of Us. We'll get to that.
Oh,
No,
Ted Lasso.
we've spoken about that, Michael. You're done.
I am. I was sick.
Ted-
I was sick last week.
Ted
he's got the
Lasso.
opinion we want to hear. But yes, Ted
Oh,
Lasso.
he does. He does have the opinion we want to hear.
Look, I can sort of, from what you told me the other day when we were hanging out, Choppy, about how the seasons always start and end with a certain thing, I can see, and then from a FaceTime that certain character has, I'm sort of, I don't want to say predicting, but I can just sort of see where the arc's sort of gonna start coming in.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, who hasn't picked up on it, the how Ted Lasso goes is that each season it opens and ends with a character's close up. So the season 1 ended with a close up on Rebecca, who's the owner of Richmond FC, and then season 2 opened up with Nate, and it closed with Nate, who had the biggest probably arc in season 2.
Yeah.
So those are the two characters that had probably the biggest arcs in those seasons, and this season, we open up with Ted. It's Ted's close up. So we're going to get Ted's arc this season, which is very exciting, especially if where this is due to be the final
Last
season of Ted Lasso.
Yeah. So I think from the FaceTime Ted has with his son, I think you can sort of, from a comment made, you can sort of see where maybe a bit of his arc's going to come in.
Yeah. Have you
On that
noticed that
side.
Ted Lasso is just Star Wars, by the way? Ted Lasso is just Star Wars.
I can't wait to see this season.
I hate
Hey.
you.
No.
Do they start with Jabba's palace? Or?
No.
yeah.
It's think about it. Rupert's the Emperor. Nate's Vader.
Yeah.
You got Ted. It's
This turns evil.
Yeah.
Who's the apprentice? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, something's happening here.
It's Star Wars.
So like watched me and Gemma watched episode 1 last night, and we finished off like watching her through of season 2. We did skip the beard episode.
You got to skip the beard episode.
We did. It did take a little bit of convincing. She didn't quite understand when I was like, no, it just doesn't matter. She didn't quite get that, but we skipped it.
So the clubbing episode?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's absolutely no value to the show. And they only did it because they were forced to write 2 episodes last minute. Because they originally ordered 10 and then they changed it to 12 after they'd written the show.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The other one was a lot better, right?
The Christmas
one.
episode, a lot better.
Yeah. Gemma's one comment was, I wonder if Nate's hair is actually grey.
It goes
because it goes grey so quick.
It goes grey slowly over
searched
the
it up.
season.
Huh?
It slowly goes grey over the season.
Yeah. But obviously, when you're watching only 10 episodes, it just happens it happens very quick when you in times of the season. But apparently she did Google it, and apparently it's obviously
it's a wig. No.
It's yes, it's fake, but it's meant to symbolize obviously his sort of arc and going that as he becomes more angry and stuff, it goes more grey. So I'm interested to see how him and at West Ham's going to pan out. I'm going to see how interesting Richmond in the Premier League is going to be.
It's going to be good. It's going to be.
It is.
We're in for a treat.
There was also another thing I didn't really see happening, and that was the talk.
Oh, yeah, you knew that was coming from the end of last season.
Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't want to see it happen.
No, I think I think it worked. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a great show. I'm very excited for everyone to start watching it.
I'm really excited. I just want all the episodes. I don't want to wait week to week.
Yeah, it's gonna suck. Tomorrow the new one comes out. Every Wednesday. Speaking of Apple TV, there's another show I'm watching on Apple TV that's aired its penultimate episode of this season, of the first season last week, and that was Shrinking.
Hey.
And I'm still gonna stay because you know what? It's been 9 weeks now, and no one's fucking listening to me. Watch Shrinking. Shrinking is great. This episode made me tear up in 2 separate parts.
Damn.
It is literally the next thing on the list after we binged Ted Lasso. So
people watch Shrinking. Shrinking is fantastic. I'm not going to reveal anything about Harrison Ford's great, Jason Segel's great. Watch Shrinking. That's it.
That's your
And
PSA.
everyone's gonna go out one ear and out the other, isn't it?
No, I actually actively go out and search it out. I need to see if I even have Apple TV at the moment.
Worth Apple TV is kind of the situation where like they don't
If you-
post a lot, but the stuff they post is quality.
Yeah. The thing when I first got Apple TV to watch Ted Lasso, because I went through my PlayStation, I got like 6 months for like free or something.
Yeah.
So if you don't have an account, Brayden, go through your PlayStation. They may still have that sitting there.
Yeah, nice. I'll have to do that because Michaela and I still need to watch Ted Lasso. Obviously there's Severance on there.
Yeah.
Dan's been raving about For All Mankind.
Oh yeah.
Which is a bit of fun.
Mythic Quest is on there.
Mythic Quest, yes, I need to get up to date with Mythic Quest. But yeah, there is a lot on there.
Mhm.
There's a lot on there.
But yeah, watch Ted Lasso.
I'm really enjoying having things back to weekly releases. I think it's great.
Well, yeah, I need to probably watch Mandalorian, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Do
I'm
you
behind on Mando.
Do you guys want to know about Mandalorian?
Is it good?
Has
And
it?
In the most recent episode, you get a solid 10 minutes of the Mandalorian, and then they suddenly swap. And you know how in Book of Boba Fett we got those Mandalorian episodes?
Yeah.
This one's like if we got Andor episodes. So this one's a hidden episode of Andor, but obviously set a lot later than Andor in the timeline.
Clap, Disney.
So you start, and it's a great spaceship battle for the first like 5 minutes of the opening, and then it comes up the Mandalorian, and then it takes you straight to a complete episode set on Coruscant and its own little story and character arc and development and mysteries that they're planting there. And then right at the very end of the episode, you get another like 4 or 5 minutes. Oh wait, let's go back to Jin and Grogu and Bo-Katan and see what they're up to. And I mean, I'm interested in what's going to happen. I liked the episode. It was a bit different. But yeah, I think the season has a lot more potential after this episode. I was really the first two.
The reason I haven't rushed back was because that first episode wasn't so great.
Yeah.
I haven't even gone to watch it.
Yeah, if it's getting better as the season goes on, I will make an effort to go watch it.
I'll let you know if this next episode is good, then I would recommend it. Otherwise, if this next episode is meh, then
yeah. Well, a friend did say that it has gotten better after.
This most recent episode is definitely better. So
episode 2 is not great.
Episode 2 is fine.
Okay.
Like it's fine. You get a little bit more interesting stuff, but like it feels like it goes on a little too long. And then episode 3 is kind of not an episode of The Mandalorian. It's more so it feels like an episode of Andor. It's interesting.
I'm interested. That's got me back. I like Andor.
Yeah, exactly. Andor's great. But do we want to talk about the other new thing, or do we want to talk about everything else that we've been watching? Because I feel like there's a lot of other stuff over there.
We should talk about the new thing. Some people might be
New
the
thing.
new thing.
Get the new thing while we're at the start.
Everyone's favorite now vocal anti-vaxxer, Zachary Levi, is starring in a new film. It's the sequel to the 2018?
Sure.
Nah.
19,
I think.
First one from DC Comics. It's Shazam. With Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
It's the sequel.
And it's a sequel to that one.
And guess what? If you like that one, you're gonna feel the exact same way on this one.
Yep. It's the first one, but with higher stakes than the first one.
Higher stakes, bigger action, bigger story, bigger everything. Doesn't look like it's a bigger budget, but it's...
No, it feels like it's the same budget with a bigger scope, and that's got its own things.
Some people obviously really harsh on this film. I thought this film was a lot of fun. There was not one point in the film I went, "Oh, why am I watching this?"
It didn't overstay its welcome. It
No.
wasn't trying to be like a 2.5 hour epic.
I just had this was a bit of fun, and I enjoyed myself at the movies. Am I gonna go see it again? No. Will I buy it on 4K? Probably not.
How long did it go for?
2 hours and 10?
Just over 2 hours.
2:10?
Okay.
Yeah, I think around there.
Hmm.
The only issue I have with the film is the exact same issue I had with the first film, is that I don't think that the actor playing Billy and the actor playing Shazam Billy, I don't think they ever meet, because they act completely different for playing the same character.
Yeah, Zachary Levi playing this kid, like Billy grown up.
It's much more
Like-
mature. Billy as a kid is much more mature than Shazam Billy.
Way more. Like you look at this kid and they're saying like, hey, yeah, he's about to turn 18. Like he turns 18 in like the next year.
And still, Zachary Levi's
And
playing
then
like a
the
13-year-old.
second you get to Zachary Levi as Shazam version of Billy, you're like, this is a child.
Yeah.
There's a severe miscommunication there, but I mean, that's tough. Trying to get that right is that's tough, but I feel like that should have been a bigger priority for like what is basically the main part of this character.
Well, it was like an issue with the first one, wasn't it?
It was because it was like again, like he was still younger, but it was like this is strange.
Yeah.
He's playing him very young.
I
But
agree.
oh, well. I feel like this is a thing that I'm having with movies recently where we're getting a lot of stuff where it's like, hey, yeah, teenagers doing stuff and teenage characters and trying to make films that appeal to like teenagers and younger generation and stuff. But like just like 80s and like 90s references that kids these days wouldn't get. Like, I don't believe for a second that Billy Batson would wear a Goonies t-shirt.
He does wear a Goonies t-shirt. Nah, he'd probably wear a Goonies t-shirt.
Really? Because
Yeah.
like he
Like
also
that's not like the most obscure reference.
They're also
though.
pretty poor. It could be a hand-me-down.
yeah, I guess there as
Like
well.
I feel like if they were just whipping out some like random ass like 80s references, like real niche,
Yeah.
then maybe. But like
Well, I
Goonies
mean,
is a
like-
pretty
What do you think
big
about the
thing.
suit change?
What was that?
What do you think about the suit change? Oh, I did have a picture lined up here, but it's decided to
Oh.
go away.
Ghosted
Here it is.
you.
What do you think about the suit change?
I mean, the suit change. It's
Is
again.
the lightning bolt
it's-
just dull, like not as shiny?
No, it's not like
It's not as big of a muscle suit.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't
okay,
interact.
that's fine.
I think
The
he
first
just
one
got
was a
muscle. I
bit
think he just
silly.
got muscly.
Yeah, it's like
Oh.
Zachary Levi just got fitter.
Yeah.
And then they went, okay, yeah, let's calm down on how like cartoony it looked.
Mm.
It looks a bit more like rugged and it looks more Snydery, which is interesting. The state of DC at the moment is a real mess because we've had what was the last one that came out and had Black Adam.
Black Adam was bad
Black Adam.
though.
Black Adam
I would
and-
watch this before I'd watch Black Adam again.
Oh yeah, I'd happily watch this over Black Adam, but like it's got the same thing where it's like, are we going into a new universe or are we like gripping at like clawing our way to hold on to this one for as long as possible?
James Gunn announced that everything that was filmed for the film was filmed before he was put in charge.
That makes 1,000% sense.
Yeah, we've had the whole rumblings of Shazam 2 for quite a while, so
Yeah.
So but there's a post-credit scene that heavily involves something that James Gunn created for DC.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's a really interesting part. And
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that also ties in heavily with Black Adam.
It ties in with Black Adam, ties in with Peacemaker, ties in with the Suicide Squad, like all the things that James Gunn had something to do with.
Those are the things that I get interested in because it's like what are they keeping and what's getting reset and what's getting pulled through.
I don't think they know.
I don't think they know. It's fascinatingly strange. They did also announce that not only is James Gunn writing Superman Legacy, but
directing
he's
it now.
also directing it.
You love that, bro?
So,
Okay.
oh yeah, Michaela and I were hooting and hollering.
I like James Gunn.
I'm
ju-
curious to
he
see what
just
it's like.
needs
I
to get
want to
off
see
Twitter.
if he pulls back on his James Gunn-ness, or if he commits to making Superman in the style of James Gunn.
I just feel like he needs to get off
It'll be
Twitter.
interesting. Oh, 100%.
A lot of people need to do that.
Because
But
someone. Oh, that scared me.
Yeah,
That
screw
camera
social
turned-
media. Honestly, if everyone got off social media, I think the world would be a better place.
Someone had a crack at him because he posted a photo of him and his wife together on the way to the Shazam premiere because he's the head of DC. Like the
Yeah,
head
funny
of,
that.
the head of the film department of DC. So of course he's gonna go. And someone on Twitter just commented on his photo, basically being like, "Oh, do you cast your wife in all your films now?" And he was just like, oh, "The only film I cast her in was the Suicide Squad." Man, he's just like,
Yeah, it was like, calm down.
yeah. So
I'm not Tim Burton. Calm down.
people just in general need to get off Twitter.
Yeah.
Like on
Bless.
both sides.
Yeah. I thought back to Shazam 2. I thought the villains were pretty forgettable. Like,
I love Rachel Ziegler, so I will.
was that the
Oh.
younger one?
Yeah, she's great. Maria
She
from
was
West Side
great.
Story.
Weirdly, Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu are really just sort of generic. And
They're pretty
really
bad. They're
bland.
naughty. Though this film did one thing that I really liked that they did that I feel like superheroes just don't do anymore, and that is just fucking kill random pedestrians.
Oh yeah, like there's a lot of people who just get murked.
Yeah, like it starts off with the principal. He goes.
Oh yeah, just immediately, and it's
they-
rough.
They make him. They control him, and they just make him walk straight off a roof. And
It's brutal.
yeah.
Interesting.
And then at the end, there's just like these creatures that come out, and then they're just killing.
Like a lot of people.
Yeah, there was some cool creature design at the end.
Yeah, there's some like that's the thing. This film, it tries to walk this line of being like a modern like superhero movie, but then it also leans into like really heavily like high fantasy like comic book elements. Like
I do
you
feel
get
like-
some weird shit in there, and it's fun and kooky and weird, and then you get thrown back into this plot of these Greek demigod women being like, hey, we're bad. Are we bad? One of us is really bad.
Yeah, I think people being a bit harsh on it. 53% Rotten Tomatoes is
That seems harsh.
that's pretty harsh.
It made me laugh quite a bit. There's quite a few jokes in it that got me.
It did its job, in my opinion. It
I
like
can't remember them, but it got me giggling.
no, I also can't remember them.
Yeah, I can't remember. Again,
been
this
a
movie
week.
is immediately blended in with Shazam 1 for me.
Yeah.
I will probably not go and seek it out again, but it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. I thought it was a fun time in the movies.
Yeah.
If I
take your niece, take your nephew.
if I paid to go see it, I wouldn't be upset. I'll say that.
I am
I was
glad
high.
I didn't pay for
I was high. I was high on it because I liked the first one. So at some point, I will seek
Go
it out
see
one
it.
way or another. But
It's a bit of fun at the movies. Why not?
So yeah, go see Shazam. Yeah, the first one's got a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way,
Jesus.
And
this one's
got
that's too
50.
high.
Yeah.
and this one's got
That's
53.
wild.
So
like I feel like that's the sort of reaction that everyone had when it first came out. But like, obviously, looking back at it, like
Yeah.
the charm's worn off a little bit. Even me, I was pretty high on it, but I think thinking back on it, I think the charm's worn off a little bit. So you can probably drop from that. But if the second one's practically like the first one, then yeah, why
Yeah.
isn't it a bit higher? But
yeah, fair enough.
Bless. I've seen that it hasn't done incredibly well at the box office its opening weekend.
No, but like I think it suffered from the fact that no one knows what the hell's going on at DC at the moment.
100%.
Because they're releasing the rest of these films, but
they don't really
but
matter.
I
if they're
think
just
the
gonna-
real-
everything's just going to be
I think
kicked
the
to the
real
curb.
test. If
The
Flash
real
does
test
well.
will be The Flash.
Yeah,
in seeing if they can bring people in on the basis of like this is us ending this universe and starting a new one. I think that'll be the test to see if people actually give a shit or not.
Who asked to be screened The Flash the other day, and they watched The Flash and they loved it? Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise asked for a screening of The Flash, and they screened The Flash for him, and he loved it. So,
Yeah, which is wild that Tom Cruise just went, yeah, I want to watch this movie,
Yeah.
and then watched it and went, that's
So-
good.
if Tom Cruise is saying The Flash is great, I'm kind of gonna be there.
The man who saved cinema.
He saved
That was
cinema,
literally my comment, Brayden. That was my comment. I was
and they
about to
gave him
make.
an Oscar. Well, they gave his film an Oscar. They didn't give him an Oscar. He didn't rock up.
Bless. Oh
So,
man.
Tom Cruise,
Yeah,
you
it'll
saved
be
cinema,
interesting
and what have we
times
done for you?
over
Nothing.
the DC mess.
We owe Tom Cruise a pretty big debt. Tom Cruise saved cinema, guys.
He did save cinema.
And he'll be
alright,
saving it again
He did.
in July.
let's go into a bit of a free-for-all of everything else we've been watching and other things worth mentioning. Because I'm curious, because Chris has been quiet, obviously with his internet being terrible. Chris,
That's
would
right.
Would you mind jumping in? That wasn't too big a delay.
That was
That
pretty
fine.
good.
Okay,
Uh,
okay, maybe we're back. I did
yeah.
lose video at a little time in there, but okay.
It's right.
It sounds like you're good.
He's actually just guessing really well at everything we're gonna say.
Yeah.
You're talking over us in your headphones.
Yeah, I just preempt everything and give it a good 5-second head start.
Yeah, perfect. Just keep going with that. Now you told us that you've been watching something, but then didn't tell us what it was before we started recording, and
Son
now
of a
we're all
bitch.
very curious.
I've been watching something very exciting on binge, and it's become a little guilty pleasure of mine, and that's the Great British Bake Off.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I
Why?
love it.
Has anyone caught that?
Oh
Before?
my God.
I've seen it before, whilst home sick. Before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Noel Fielding hosting, which you might know from the Mighty Boosh, and he's hilarious.
Is he
and
from the
then,
IT crowd as well? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Sorry,
Noel Fielding. I'm thinking of the.
He's
He's
wrong
the
the,
real
uh,
emo looking dude.
long hair.
person. Yeah, he's from IT crowd as well.
Oh yeah, he's the vampire.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. And it's also the one part of that British comedy duo that made Little Britain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I
The
can't remember.
the short bald one.
The short one, yeah.
Oh,
The one that's in
um,
Community.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, it's this really wholesome show, and they got British people from all walks of life, just coming together for a baking competition, and it just feels so much more genuine than like I'll compare it to like MasterChef or something.
Yeah.
Because they're doing all this crap with the like the lightning rounds and the elimination rounds and the suspense, build the suspense. It's just about bacon.
Yeah.
And at the end of an episode, sometimes someone goes home, sometimes someone doesn't. It's just when they go, okay, like we really think this person is being outclassed here, so they're out.
God damn. Very
Yeah.
wholesome.
It is. So each episode they do 3 challenges, and whoever stands out gets to be like gets a little prize that week. And obviously, it's narrowing down of the people that are left. So it's very interesting. And the two hosts, they play off each other so well, and it's really funny. And the whole thing's just wholesome and beautiful and funny.
I don't think that's a guilty pleasure, Chris. I think that's just a really nice thing that you were allowed to enjoy.
I
know
think
a
I
lot of
need to
people-
check this out. This
I know.
sounds
I
great.
know a lot of people.
I
watch
haven't
it.
even mentioned the baking. The baking's amazing. Okay,
Don't get him started. On the
so
baking.
don't get me started on the baking.
These
So-
fucking cakes, mate.
Yeah, each episode they do like something which they can kind of make their own, and then they do like a technical challenge where they have to like recreate something perfectly, like some rare biscuit, which it doesn't
Does it
sound
make you
fun
hungry?
already.
Ooh.
Yes, it does. It's a nice one to sit down with some cookies and milk with, for sure.
And just go, God, these cookies and milk is shit
It's
compared
like-
to what they're making.
yeah, these British people sure know how to bake, but
Bless.
God, they have awful teeth.
Maybe it's from all the baking.
Probably all the sugar.
Chris, what is the percentage of old white ladies as contestants?
So there's, I want to say like 3.
out of.
But there's one kind of like traditional kind of grandma like character, and she's lovely to watch. And she's like she pulls him out of the hat sometimes. Like she'll just get this win out of nowhere, and it's like yeah, she's got the skills. You know, she's been in that kitchen baking away.
She did her time.
Exactly. Like she'll come out with these like real advanced stuff. And then there's another older like mum who's much more like you can tell she's had like 3 or 4 kids. You know, she's like she's got pink hair. She's a bit more like funny. She gets along with Noel really well, and their interactions are really funny and really beautiful. And yeah, she's great as well. But she does some kind of like the the vibey stuff. You know, she's doing like all this fluorescent stuff. She's really cool. And my favorite guy is this big jolly man from Poland, and he has an amazing accent. And yeah, he quickly became my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he's your favorite to win. I'm assuming this is what, like season 1 or?
Yeah, this is the first season on Binge, which is season 13.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say because the hosts are like they're newer hosts of it.
Yes. So I don't know if this is a revival of the show, and it used to be maybe a lot more like boomer friendly, because this one's definitely like much more I think aimed at young people with the hosts. Like
bit more
it's
modern.
much
I
easier
do think
to get
it used to
into.
be one of those like daytime granny shows. I think from memory. I feel like when they'd come on as I'm perusing Foxtel on a sick day, like
Pretty steady cook.
It's
There you
so
go. It
good
started
with
back
Noel.
in 2010.
Okay, so there's a few of them that get along with Noel straight away, but obviously he's a bit weird. And then like you could tell just a few episodes in that they're all just like fully along with his humor, and they're like doing banter with him. It's beautiful. And the contestants all love each other after like the first episode, and they were hugging and crying, and we love to see it.
Complimenting each other on their baked goods.
It's so sweet. And then like the Polish guy runs over to help, with his Polish accent, like, you have nothing to present, I will help. It's amazing.
Bless.
Yep.
I will quickly plug, there's a new comic coming out called The Great British Bump Off, and it's basically a murder mystery whodunit, but set at the Great British Break Off.
That's
very nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so you can get that at Greenlight Comics.
But
I'll jump in very quickly because I've also binge watched an entire reality show with Michaela, a competition show, over on the Netflix, where there's a bunch of stuff at the moment recently.
But we still haven't watched Paddington 2.
Hey, we watched Paddington 2.
Oh, did you? Who hasn't watched
That's
Paddington
me.
2?
That's this guy.
Yeah, you can shit on Michael as much as you want. Michaela and I did our time. We enjoyed that movie.
Good.
We watched season 2 of Next in Fashion came out, which is where a bunch of fashion designers do a lovely competition and present looks each episode. Each episode is themed in a different thing, like the Met Gala or like thrifting or whatever. It's hosted by Tan France, who was one of the people on Queer Eye on Netflix. Okay. And they've got a new co-host in this season, and it's Gigi Hadid, who I knew nothing about before watching the show. Turns out she is incredibly wholesome and incredibly down to earth, and I would never have guessed that.
Who is Gigi Hadid?
So good for her.
Like
she's great, and I highly recommend.
She was dating one of the One Direction dudes. I remember that.
Yeah, I think she was dating Zayn for a while.
She's attractive.
This is such a lovely show. It's so good. Next in Fashion, I highly recommend. Season 1 was great. Season 2, absolutely loved it. The contestants are all great. They all love and support each other. And like it was twists and turns of not knowing who was going to make it through, and some like real big like upsets and surprises, which were great. And yeah, by the end of it, it's a great season of competition TV show. And it's one of those things where like you're watching it and then like you're like, oh, I wouldn't have done that, because you watch like British Bake Off or Next in Fashion or that mixology show that Michaela and I watched a couple months ago on Netflix, and like suddenly you're an expert and you're like, no, I wouldn't make that drink with gin. I'd make it with something else.
Yeah, how much of an expert are you now? Chris?
Oh,
I know everything about sponge.
that's
Could
not
you
moist
make me
enough.
one?
How
Then?
to cut it, how to make it, how to mold
No,
it,
no, I couldn't.
No, but he knows how to judge it, and that's
what
the
icing
important.
Yeah,
sticks best to
Exactly. Yeah, I know a perfect sponge from a poor one, and a mediocre one as well.
it. He
Yeah.
can make that sponge into anything. He's that good.
God damn. But yeah, so I highly recommend that. I'm also hearing really good things about two other things on Netflix at the moment that I thought I'd plug in case anyone feels like they want to check them out. One being Physical 100, if
Oh
anyone's
yeah,
seen
have
that
you not
going
watched
around.
that? We talked about that the other week, didn't we? Or
Yeah,
did I
you
brought
brought it up
about
the other
someone in
week.
person?
I think I brought it up, yeah, because Physical 100 is apparently great fun. It's basically American Ninja Warrior meets, I don't know, Battle Royale meets just like a bunch of workout people all supporting each
And then
other.
there's just one
Uh,
white guy.
Yes. And then there's another one, which Netflix are just bringing over a bunch of stuff from Japan and Korea at the moment. There's another one that they've just put up there called Run for the Money. And the premise for this show is basically they get like a bunch of like comedians and celebrities and all this stuff, and they get put in a theme park, like an amusement park, theme park type area, and they run out, and then they send in hunters to come get them, and they have to like avoid and hide and everything. And I've heard it's great. I've heard it's great fun. And they introduce some really silly stuff as you get further into it. But I'm hearing that it's good fun. Run for the money.
I want to watch this 3-episode documentary on MH 370.
Yeah, I think
I
my
have been
parents just
seeing that
watched
pop up a bunch.
Yeah, I want to watch
Hmm.
that because it's so interesting. The plane, where'd it go? Where'd that plane
Yeah.
go?
I mean, that
In
was
the ocean.
basasically my parents sat down and
Was it
watched it,
Russians?
and
The
then
Russians.
No, that was the other one, Chris.
they mentioned it the other week, and then they were like, "Yeah, just nothing makes sense." Like you watch the whole documentary, and you're like, "Oh, who
Well,
knows?"
the two theories are that it either landed somewhere in Russia or it either landed in the Indian Ocean. And it's just never will be found.
Those Russians.
They're
Them
sneaky.
sneaky Russians.
Yeah.
Those Russians
what's he
hiding
gonna
in the
do?
Indian Ocean.
That's bullshit, yeah.
What's he
Waiting to
done?
strike.
Right, he's
Bless.
invaded
But,
our country. He's gonna.
There's
gonna get our
also
women.
over on old Netflix. There's the second half of You. Did you guys already talk about that?
I haven't watched any of it, so I can't
Oh,
I
talk
haven't.
about it.
I also haven't watched any of it yet because we were watching Ted Lasso.
Fair enough. I think Michaela's either watched it or is in the middle of watching it, and like,
I've been seeing that it's good. That's all I
Yeah.
know.
yeah, that's what I'm hearing. It's fine.
So
It's good.
I'll get on that soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's it for what I've been watching personally. Other than I've been continuing to watch Doctor Who, and it's great.
Amazing.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I'm halfway through David Tennant's run.
Oh, so you've really now chugged along. You've caught up a bit.
Oh yeah, I blasted through the last half of the classics and watching like the best of the different classic Doctors, which was
So
fun.
now are you watching
Doctor
every
from the
episode
North.
now?
Now I'm watching every episode of modern Doctor Who, and I'm just getting a
mod?
huge nostalgia hit now because I have watched up until Capaldi, and I watched a bit of the first Capaldi season, so I'll catch up. Whoa, that's a new development.
Oh, hello.
Sorry, I
put the
couldn't
hat
help but comment on that. I was not ready for a hat.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Just gotta put the
I had
hat
no
on
idea.
Just because my hair's awful at the moment.
God
Looks all
damn,
wet.
Tom Baker's in the building.
I know. I'm just putting the hat on. I don't like it. I'm not gonna.
Don't you?
It's
No,
not
no,
mine.
I reckon it's a look.
Well, howdy.
What's the
It's-
hat for?
It's not mine.
It's
Yeah.
thankfully wide enough that it doesn't look too fedora-y.
Now fedora's skinnier. It's not.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not small enough. It's not small enough to be fedora, and it's not too big to be full cowboy.
I just feel
Yeah.
like if I had another hat around here, I would have put that on. But
It looks
Is that
like
what you've been hunting for? A hat?
no, I this room got so fucking hot that I went and changed from pants to shorts. And
Oh, wow, nice.
I went and opened the window because
Good work.
it's boiling in here. Actually, I could just do this.
what, take the hat off and then not be as
using
warm.
this. Just put them on. Now it looks like
Oh, there you go.
Is your other
they're
headset
awful.
flat?
No, I don't know. I tend to only come into this room for. Why are we talking about this now? I tend to only come into this room for
Podcast.
podcasts, so the earphones really are just kind of here.
That's
Fair
fair.
enough. Has anyone else been watching anything else?
Yeah, I
Or-
gotta check my letterbox.
I did. In my sickness last week, I watched 2 movies.
Down with the six.
So I watched Bullet Train first.
Oh.
That was a bit of a hoot. That was a bit of fun.
Nice.
That was a bit of a whirlwind of a watch. I just didn't know really what to expect, and it kept delivering. I thought all the characters were pretty funny. Tangerine and Lemon were my favorites by far.
Everyone's favorites, yes.
And you got to love the fact that he's obsessed with Thomas the Tank Engine
Mhm.
and uses characters to examine people.
You're the diesel.
You're the diesel. And then the second one I watched, which Choppy has been quoting since we got on this call,
Well, I've watched it twice this week.
is the Banshees of Inisherin.
It's like
Goddamn.
slowly coming up the list of my favorite films of last year.
Wow.
It was good. It was very, very
It
good.
is so funny.
It
And
is.
the more I
It
watch
really
it, the
is.
funnier I find it.
I like the thing is, I feel like it's so good in the fact that it's really funny, but some of it just comes off not like it doesn't seem like it should be a funny situation, but just like
It's
the
so
line
dry
delivery
though.
and what they say,
Mm.
exactly what they say and the way they say it. Everyone in this is great. It's such a small cast.
You can't
but
just
everyone
stop
in it is
liking a fella. Well, why not? Because it's not very nice.
great. Nice. I just don't like you anymore.
But you liked me yesterday.
Fucking hell.
I'm not putting me
Now,
donkey
yeah,
outside.
fingers
but
killed
I'm
my
sad.
donkey.
For context, I think I heard Alex say those words about 80 times before we started
Oh
recording
yeah, he
the episode.
continuously
Like me yesterday.
continuously quoted it.
And then you finally brought up the reference, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's from the thing I still need to watch."
I'm
not putting me
Do
donkey
you
outside.
still have
when
to
I'm sad,
Choppy,
Shiva.
do you still watch it with subtitles now that you've seen it so many times?
You have to watch it with subtitles.
I got halfway through. I understood probably about 95 of the words they said, but it was at 5%. I'm like, I just need to know what this last little bit they're saying is.
Barry Keoghan's character needs subtitles.
Yes, it does. I can say that when he first appears, he's like, what do you think this is for?
What do you think
Grabbing
this
things
stick's
that are
for?
stick like the way.
It's just like, what do you think this stick with the hooks on for? Hooking things at a length of a stick away?
Oh god, I highly recommend everyone seeing it. I wish I didn't sleep on it for so long.
Yeah, I kind of feel really bad that I haven't watched it yet now,
I
but it
just
is on
love
Disney
it.
Plus, so I can find
It
it.
is,
anywhere.
it
Love
is.
I'm not
And
putting
that
me
was
donkey when
literally-
I'm outside.
That was it. I just opened Disney Plus because I was like, I want to find something to watch, and I'd
Yeah.
scanned Netflix, and it literally opened. It was the first thing that popped up. I'm like, I don't need any other convincing than this.
Perfect.
Threw it on, and it got me through.
Oh, it's so funny. You used to be
And-
nice. Or did you ever used to be?
And the last thing that I watched, I finally. Well, it didn't really matter because I wasn't on the episode last week, but I finally watched the last episode of The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
Yes.
Hey, you
I-
did it.
Yeah, clearly Chris has
Ew.
been absolutely waiting for me to watch this episode.
I want to hear.
Look, the first thing is it went by so fast. I paused it to quickly run to the toilet, and I was already half an hour through it, and I did not feel like I was half an hour through it.
I
Mhm.
felt
It-
that as well, actually. It was,
it's
I,
like-
felt-
it
I was
did-
what
like,
happened.
was that a 20-minute episode?
Yeah, it was so quick, and like I wasn't ready for it to end, and for anything, I wanted more. Fire your questions at me because you guys have been waiting for me to watch this episode.
But someone,
what
Chris and
what was
I,
your reaction
yeah.
to the reveal?
As in the reveal that they're just gonna kill her
Or
And
just
take
the
it
fact
out.
that
And his choice.
and his choice. Look, the reveal that they were just like Marlene was just full on board with, I'll say quote unquote, like pretty much sacrificing her. I was that made me very sad,
Mhm.
and I'm very on board with his choices. Fuck that! Like he is the shit that they've gone through. I would feel so bad if the character just walked out at this point. Like fuck that, nah. Him going through it and it all being used in like slow motion, not much sound outside of like just gunfire and music. It was a great little sequence, and
but he just murdered. Like
oh,
it's
he
not-
straight up
Yeah,
murders,
executing
and
them.
It's
Or
not
he's
even like
surrendering.
he doesn't even wait for them to start shooting him at one point. Like he
he
just
goes.
he's
I was full
that
waiting
was
for him
us though.
to
We did that.
pop. I was waiting for him to like full pop off the nurses in the room because he gets him to turn around.
Oh, no, he's
I
got
was
stabbed.
waiting for him because he's just like in that moment he just like he's seeing red.
Yeah.
Nobody say it's he's getting Ellie and that's it. I didn't see him. I didn't see the whole thing with him shooting Marlene come. But
That's incredible,
obviously-
man. That is shot for shot the game. Like
Yeah.
shot for shot, edit for edit. Like cutting from her being like, we can still fix this. You still got a choice, and it cuts to him in the car. That's exactly how the game played.
Yeah, and it's just like the whole like, and even like, obviously when you flash back and you see the whole moment, and it's just, and he's just like, you're gonna come after her.
Yeah.
It's just
You just come after her.
oh, yeah.
Pop.
It's just, and it's the and then his choice to lie to her to protect her, so that she doesn't know that like these people that she thought were, safe, ultimately wanted to just use her body.
Mm.
Like because obviously realistically if she's at that age where she would have made the choice to be like, oh yeah, I'll go save people and like that's like use my body, but like obviously ultimately that's would also end her. So I fall behind it. I think it's a very powerful end to the season, and it sort of shows he's come around from just thinking of her as cargo.
Yeah.
To the absolute feeling, like the absolute love he has for her at this point, like enough to try and shoot his way through a hospital to save her.
Do you think she knows? Do you think she believes him?
You get the feeling that she's very suspicious that it wasn't exactly what he said, because like right at the end of the episode before they get to where Tommy is, they like obviously on top of the mountain, she's like, I'm gonna ask you again, like is that what happened? So like obviously there's that bit of doubt in her
Also, shot for shot, the game.
mind.
Line for line.
Ridiculously good.
This has definitely creeped up as one of the best shows I've watched, and I think ultimately, like as much as I really have wished I played the game, like especially way back when it like first came out and stuff, and I wish I'd finished it, and the few times I've started it, but I'm glad that like I didn't try and like rush the game right before the show or anything. Like I feel like if I'd played it ages ago, it would be good, but I'm glad I didn't rush the game right before the show, so I didn't have any of this spoiled. Because I think that was great.
I think getting to experience the show like that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
So.
Are you
So
gonna play
I'm
the game
definitely
now?
going to go back and play. I'm going to go back and play the game.
You gonna play the second one, or you gonna wait for the show? for
I
the second one?
definitely. Oh no, I'll play the second one because I think the show's a bit away.
Yeah, season 2 is a bit far away. They have
It did
teased
say
it
like,
with a little
poster.
concept poster with Abby's forearm with a hammer, which is terrifying. It looks very brutal. Yeah, I
I did
think
see
now
some-
I feel like sales on Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 are just going to be skyrocketing at the moment.
Yeah, I did see something somewhere that's rumored to be pegged early 2025 for season 2.
Also rumored to be split across 2 seasons, which
Ooh.
which is exactly how they should do it.
Look, I was with the season finished. There's one thing that I saw obviously over like the last week and stuff, articles wise, and there's a lot of people complaining that there wasn't enough infected people,
Well, it's not.
and like, and I totally disagree with that. I think it would have come off to Walking Dead in my eyes if it was just
But it's
wall
not
to wall infected
about the
everywhere.
infected.
Huh?
Like it's not about the infected.
No.
It's one of those
It's
things
about
where...
their story. I think people just like assume it's like this, like people that like haven't played the game or don't know remotely what it is. Assumed it's like it's just like zombie apocalypse almost, sort of thing. But it's ultimately the story about these two and their journey and sort of their whole arc of sort of trusting each other and
Yeah.
opening up and stuff. So
It's about people and the like human connection and human experience.
I think it's more about how the humans in this world have changed, not
Mm.
the infected. Because like obviously you get like the different villages, and like obviously with the last episode you see just like how real like shitty people can be, but then
Mm.
you can also see how good people can be in some of the other episodes. So yeah, I totally disagree with all of those. I'm glad it was in that direction, and I'm really hoping that they don't just. I don't think they will, but I'm hoping they don't take that feedback and just try and cram it with as much infected, because
No.
ultimately that's just
with
going to feel
the-
like The Walking Dead, and I didn't make it very far
with-
through The Walking Dead.
Craig and Neil, they are very much on the reins with it. I think there was a quote like Neil Druckmann responding to people like saying that, and his response was basically like, "I don't give a fuck." like,
Yeah.
I
If
don't
they
care.
just stick, they did such a good job of it, clearly from what you guys have said over the course of the past few weeks with the show, sticking to the source material and just like adding where adding was needed,
Yeah.
not just for no reason.
Yeah.
So I'm most really hoping they stick with that, and I'll definitely play through the games before the next season comes out anyway.
Nice.
And that's all I've been watching other than Ted Lasso. So
Nice.
John Wick Chapter 4 comes out tomorrow. Oh, sorry. John
Very
Wick Chapter
excited.
4 comes out tomorrow.
There you go. People can hear
So-
Alex.
Yeah.
So I have been watching the John Wick films.
Have you been sad every time poor Lance Reddick has appeared on screen?
It has been a bit sad.
Yeah.
it's gonna be a bit sad tomorrow.
So yes, I watched John Wick 1 the other night. John Wick 1 is great. It's fantastic.
Holds up.
It's awesome. I remember loving John Wick 2 to the point where it was on par with 1, or maybe even a little bit better.
Until you rewatch.
I rewatched it yesterday and today. And I found I loved the opening with the car chase and him getting his car back from the other bad guy. Like the whole
Yeah.
opening of this film was him getting his car back because they obviously in the end of the first film he never got his car back. So the opening of this one, he's gone to the place where they stored his car and he's just murdering everyone there. And you get a really good car chase and you get a really good John Wick action scene.
Mhm.
And then the rest of the movie's just okay.
Mm.
What's
there's some
the
I don't
what
remember
is the
and I
second?
only
What is the
remember
second
end
one?
of number 2.
And that's when he's in the park and everyone's turning their head. Is
Yeah, that's like the most iconic part of that entire
I love the
film.
ending and I love the beginning. But
what
it's the
what
one
is the middle of
where
John Wick 2?
The Italian bloke rocks up and is like, "Hey, I've got this marker. I helped you get out of this life with an impossible task, and you owe me a debt. I'm now cashing in that, and you have to go kill my sister."
Oh,
And
that's right.
he
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
and kills his sister, and then then the Italian guy betrays him by being like, "Well, this guy killed my sister, so now I got to put a hit out on him." And he gets all the assassins to go out against him, and then he kills the Italian guy at the end in the Continental, gets his
And then he gets
membership revoked,
excommunicado.
excommunicado. And so the ending's great where he's running away. Oh, even the fight in the Hall of Mirrors, is really good.
Mm.
That's all great. I just found that the middle chunk was a little bit boring.
Yeah, it was incredibly forgettable.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like it's still 3.5 out of 5. I still the opening's great, the ending's great, and the stuff in the middle, it's fine. It's not bad. It's just a little forgettable.
It's just not as good as you remember.
Yeah. And I gotta watch 3 now, and I'm excited to watch 3. I remember 3 being really good.
I remember 3 being fun.
good.
I do remember when before 3 came out, and like one of the first screenshots we had was Keanu Reeves riding a horse through the
John Wick
streets.
on a horse.
That was good. We get is it Bobby in this?
Yeah.
Someone
he's
appears in this, and then you do
but-
get the whole room of knife scene in
The
the
room of
third
knife
one.
scene's great, and how he constructs an old revolver to fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's pretty great. So I'm excited to watch that again.
I'm excited for tomorrow night.
Apparently, number 4 is like getting the best reviews out of all the sequels. Like
it's
it's
pretty
getting
wild.
5 out of 5s. It's getting 10 out of 10s. It's getting.
I did see a 10 out of 10 pop up.
Yeah, I've seen some 5 out of 5s. It's it's 2 hours and 49 minutes. So
Long movie.
We're in
it's
for a
not
long one
short,
tomorrow night,
but,
Choppy.
yeah, man. So it's gonna be interesting.
You guys enjoy that, and you let us know when you want to go see it again.
Yeah.
Preferably before next episode so that we can all talk about it.
Do you remember when this and The Matrix Resurrections were meant to come out on the same day? And The Matrix Resurrections came out in 2021, and now we're just getting this now.
Wow. That's wild.
It's a bit of fun.
I still haven't seen that movie. I should watch that.
Don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
Yeah, you can skip it.
One of those movies was bad, and the other one's meant to be very good. So
Yes.
We'll see.
Amazing.
That's-
Yeah, we'll see.
hoping it's worth the wait, but
Chris will
apparently
be
it
the
is,
judge
so.
of that.
yeah.
So,
Blast. Well, you can look forward to that review next week on episode 197 of MMT Millennial Movie Talk. But you've just joined us for episode 196.
Why are you
of
thinking about next
MMT
week, silly? Think about the present.
Millennial
Think
Movie
about
Talk.
now.
Wrong episode, hey?
Wrong episode, eh?
And you can check that out, and you can follow us on your podcast service of choice. Leave a review if you can. Subscribe over there. Then come over to YouTube. Subscribe over here. You can see all our faces. Sorry, in the middle of my lungs giving way.
I just yawned. It's okay.
And then
You
you
can
won't miss an
subscribe.
episode.
On
Silly.
YouTube, and then you can like the videos and comment below your opinions on the stuff that we just talked about, because everyone loves sharing opinions.
Comment below.
Um,
Let us know.
And then you can, I don't know, recommend the show to a friend if you want.
Give it to a
Um,
friend.
There's also patreon.com/Millennial Movie Talk. You can chuck us a buck or two and help support the show.
Support us.
And you can add Michael on Facebook.
I'll wear more hats.
Please do.
I reckon Alex could wear more hats. That
Every
could be your
week he's
thing.
got to wear a different hat.
I'm gonna go out bush now.
Out bush.
Yep.
And as always,
I'm Alex,
I'm Brayden.
I'm Christian.
And I'm Michael.
and we're out of here. Goodbye.